Okay. Okay, so the question is Brady is a 3-year-old who shows little distress when his mother leaves, but when she returns, he turns away and avoids her. What kind of attachment style does he have? That would be an avoidant attachment style. So, an avoidant attachment style is he's like, he doesn't even care when she comes back, he's literally avoiding her. A secure would be like, he's a little upset when she leaves, he's excited when she comes back. And an anxious would be like, it's like in a panic when she leaves. So it's kind of what it sounds like. One person put anxious ambivalent, but it is actually an avoidant just due to the fact that he doesn't even like care that she came back. Okay, so this question about kin selection is on the test. I don't exactly remember which type I asked about. But this question is kin selection is either an action by an individual that's intended to benefit other individuals. B, that natural selection led to tendencies to develop close kin to help close kin over those who we don't share genes with. And that's the correct answer. So, kin selection is when you want to help your family more than just like random individuals, like answer A. And you want to help your family more during kin selection because they will help you pass along your family genes and promote the survival of the genes that are related to you. Um, the other answers are kind of random. But yeah, kin selection, just kind of think about your kin as your family, and your family is who you want to help in kin selection. Okay, so everybody got this one right. The question is, Joe knows that he is average looking, and so he doesn't expect to end up with like an extremely attractive person. This is called the matching phenomenon. You think that you will end up with somebody who looks in a similar level of attractiveness than you, and you probably will. If there's a mismatch, a lot of times somebody has a lot more money or power or something, but the matching phenomenon means that you will probably end up with somebody that looks more like you in level of how attractive you are. Okay, perfect. So the question is, who is the least likely to help an injured stranger? Somebody who just found $20, somebody who just lost $20, someone who just found out they were promoted, or somebody who's running a few minutes late. And it is the person who's running a few minutes late. So there's at least one question about this on the test, and maybe two, because I like this study so much. This is the Good Samaritan study. And it was quite a long time ago, but it was really cool. They had seminary students who were going to give a sermon about the parable of the Good Samaritan, which is a parable about like helping others who need help. And in one condition, so in this experiment, on their way to get their sermon, there was like a guy slept in a doorway, who looked like he probably needs help. And if they were late to give their sermon, they usually ignored him, which is like so weird because they're giving their sermon about helping other people. But long story short, the person who's running a little bit late is the least likely to help. Okay, great. So the question is, all of the following are part of the seeds of misperception, except self-serving bias, contact, stereotypes, or the fundamental attribution error. And one thing, there are lots of seeds of misperception, including self-serving bias, fundamental attribution error, stereotypes, groupthink, group polarization, all types of things. Contact is not a seed of misperception. Usually, when two groups are having that kind of contact, that's going to help them understand each other better and perceive each other better. And in that way, contact is not one of the many seeds of misperception. That exact question might be on the test. I'm not 100% sure, but it might be on the test. Okay. So the question is, Troy helped Tanisha move. Now, Troy is planning to move. Tanisha feels like she should help him and does it. Is this an example of altruism, egoism, the norm of reciprocity, or the empathy gap? And so it seems like it could be altruism that she wants to help him move, or she said she should help him move, or it seems like it could be the norm of reciprocity. And the correct answer is the norm of reciprocity, like he helped her move, so now she feels like she should help him move. Is it altruism? Hard to say, but it is the norm of reciprocity. It'd be kind of abnormal if she was like, well, you helped me move, but I'm not going to help you. That wouldn't be a social norm. So that's the norm of reciprocity. Okay, so to be fair, we did not discuss gift giving that much in lecture. However, by watching this video or attending here, just watching this simple video, you could find out the answer to this question that may be on the test. So people generally prefer gifts that are any of the following except practical, something they asked for, something they never would have guessed, or something that's an appropriate price. So we do like practical gifts. And I don't remember, I might have talked about this in lecture. I honestly don't remember, but I really like a coffee cup that some of my students gave me like 7 years ago. And I still use it all the time. And I'm like, oh, that was so sweet. Then I talked about that in a lecture. And then another student gave me a thermos after the lecture for like Christmas or something. And I was like, wow, I like now I'm like using the thermos. I like a practical gift. My husband, this like kind of stupid, but my husband bought me this really pretty like reusable grocery bag I saw in a store, and it was like $15. I was like, oh, that's too much. And now I use it. I'm so happy. But we like a practical gift, something we asked for. Yes, of course we're gonna like something we asked for. That's why we wanted it. An appropriate price. So yes, we don't want somebody to give us a gift that costs $1. That's kind of offensive, even if it was a coworker. And we don't want a present that costs like $1,000 probably, because that could be kind of like awkward if that's not the appropriate situation and you're like, can they afford this? I got them a gift that cost $25. So we want the price to be appropriate. A gift that we never would have guessed is the one that you will generally like the least. Because you didn't actually like want it, you didn't ask for it. Like, it's not what you said you want. It's not something you're going to use every day. We don't even know if the price is appropriate. So, the gift you would generally like the least is something that you never would have guessed. I've had some weird gifts that I never would have guessed. If you want to give somebody a great gift, you should just give them what they asked for. And if not that, something practical, or at least keep the price appropriate. Okay. So you will definitely want to know the difference between mediation and arbitration for the test, 100%. So this question says when a conflict is resolved by a neutral third party who studies both sides and imposes a settlement, it said is that compromise, mediation, arbitration, or bargaining. But we're really talking here about the difference between mediation and arbitration for the test. In this case, it is arbitration. So mediation is when you have two sides and you have a neutral third party, and they're both saying their sides or whatever, but the mediator is just helping them work it out. This happens in divorce a lot. Like the two partners, well, I think I should have the house, blah, blah, and the mediator is helping them work it out. And it's like really expensive just to have this person do it, but they're mediating it, they're hearing both sides, they're helping them work it out. Arbitration is somebody who decides for you. So it would be like, uh, probably should have thought of an example in advance. Like, I want to name my pet Amelia. And then like the other person's like, I hate that name. I want to name it Fred. And so they go to somebody else and they're like, you decide. That's the arbitration. Or it's like, this would be like in a divorce. This would be more applicable to the previous example. In a divorce, instead of having the person mediate and help you guys decide, somebody just is like, I heard this was going to happen, and make the decision. That's arbitration. Okay, great. So, what is the bystander effect? This question says an action that's intended to benefit another people or set of people, guilt something that you feel about something you're not personally responsible for, underestimating other people's pain and the pain of rejection, or when somebody sees another person in need, they're less likely to help when others are present. And that's the bystander effect. Like if you're on campus and there's a million people around and you see somebody hurt, you're not really that likely to help them as compared to like you're the only person there. Like, of course, you're going to help them. So the more people are there, the less likely you are to help. And that's the bystander effect. Um, if your car breaks down, if you're on the interstate, people are a lot less likely to help you than if you're on a country road. And like that's crazy because there's so many more people going by. But yes, we're the most likely to help when there's the least people around. That's a bystander effect. Okay, one more question. All right. This is a memorization question about Sternberg's triangular model of love. So in Sternberg's triangular model of love, we have intimacy, passion, and commitment. Intimacy in this model is not sexuality. Passion is sexuality. Intimacy is emotional intimacy. And then commitment is just what it sounds like. Trust is not part of this model. In this model, we can talk about what it's like if you have two of these things, but not all three, and stuff like that. But yes, it's a memorization question. It's an interesting model. There's other models out there, but that is a memorization and also really cool theory. Um, but that is all of the questions. Let's see the final winner. You guys should see, I think you guys will see a leaderboard. I don't get to see that on my end, but Jay was the winner. I don't know which one of you guys that was, but congratulations. Before I stop recording, are there any clarifications you guys have on the content of this test or the paper? All right, awesome. Well, good luck on the test. I had posted something in about the review packet, like a couple of things that were a little bit outdated. So I'm sure you saw that announcement. That was kind of a clarification that I posted, but other than that, you should be good to go and just email me if you have any questions. Bye, guys.